3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
And we're off.
If you're just tuning in, this is the battle of the roommates, actually.
Yep. These two are both located in the same place. They're living on a houseboat in the middle of the Pacific. Yeah, so this is a tricky level. Definitely the longest of the levels, and I think the most complex. I think I've seen the broadest variety of strats in this level. So much gas you're starting with. Joka, if you have my Skype contact, and if you wanna jump in the call and do commentary, you're welcome to. Yeah, so the reason for having all this ammo is because I just wanted to eliminate the effect of drop luck, because the drop's completely random. Oh, you don't? Okay. If you are interested in that, though, I'll send it to you by Twitch PM.
Yep, it's always cool to have the experts on the show come on and give us some insight.
I should have, if I had been thinking in advance, I would have asked Dexter to come and commentate on Batman, but it didn't occur to me until it was too late. So, sorry I didn't offer you that, Dexter. I would gladly have.
So both players are looking pretty good.
Okay, Joka, I just PM'd you. Next time, we'll have to have... I mean, there's plenty of games that Dexter is really good at, so I'm sure that we'll have him on for commentary at some point.
That's true. And there's probably more Batman that would make for a good goal, so...
Batman may or may not be up for consideration for a main game goal one of these days.
He may or may not return.
Right. Batman might return.
Batman returns.
Oh, that's
Now we
not
know
a bad
what
one
our-
to start with.
The episode title will be a 139.
139.9. Wow, look at that. Dragondarch gets one in real fast.
Yep, I've lost.
Conceding already. You got plenty of time left.
Oh yeah, we have seen players, beat their PBs already, so... Oh, do not give up.
Hello?
For sure. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yo. It's me.
Welcome you.
Thank you. So tell us everything these players are doing wrong.
They have too much gas. It's too easy.
Too easy. Exactly. Right.
I don't think I've ever gotten to this part for 50 gas.
Yeah, I think they start with 60. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in addition to minimizing the impact of drop luck, but it also opens the door for, a couple strats that you won't see in a regular speedrun.
Yep.
Do you have any crazy backup strats where if you get the miracle run and you get here with 50 gas, do you have spots where you can use it all, or?
I actually didn't. I mean, I haven't touched this game in like a year now, but I used to not have those kind of strats. Basically, never happened.
Yeah.
But there are definitely, in those situations, you just have to improvise and just use arrows everywhere.
Yep.
Which can throw you off when you're not used to it.
Right. Now in the...
The final boss strat, so easy once you figure it out.
Oh yeah, if you don't know about, zipping up to the top left there right away, those little things are a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw what can happen if they get out of sync, so they're not both spawning at the same time. It's pretty much run over.
I don't know what the intended way is actually there. Are you intended to jump up and shoot like that? Like a speedrun strat, or
I think
just
they...
run around on the floor and like try and bait them to jump up and shoot?
Well, you probably are meant to, not fire too many shots up there. You're probably supposed to kill both of the things off, get up onto the handholds, maybe get 1 or 2 shots in, and then go back to killing those things. But
I messed around with it.
Yeah.
Without looking at the speedrun, and you can do that, but the timing is super tight. Like I almost don't expect that is the intended way to do it. That it was so tight to even get 1 or 2 shots off. I also recently played Moon Crystal, and there's so many bosses where I was like, I can't hit the boss without not getting hit. I just can't do it. I don't know how to do it. And you bang my head against it. It's been a while since I've been completely stonewalled by a game like that.
Another thing to notice here is that when they cancel the arrow and it drops, it still does damage. So that's why they can double hit some certain enemies. It's very useful, especially in this stage. There's so many enemies that take a lot of hits. The arrow does 3 damage per tick or whatever you want to call it. So you can do 6 damage on certain enemies by cancelling the arrow. There's also a lot of possibilities for like ledge jumps. This stage, like you can land just for enemies and without stopping even.
Yeah, we just saw that
without having to kill them with arrows too.
Yeah, those guys that are like up there in the part that Rane just went through towards the top right of the first first section. There's those guys perched up there, and you can get a little piece of the ledge and then just barely jump over them.
Yeah. Also, the dream is to get a big health refill right before the checkpoint, so you don't have to kill yourself. That also never happens.
Do you know any of the specifics about drop chances?
I actually don't.
Kind of doesn't matter, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can't really control it.
Yeah, so okay.
I had to, in order to get all the ammo that they're starting with, I had to like frame advance my way to manipulate drops, and from what I could tell, all the enemies have the same set of possible drops, and getting a drop at all is less than 50% likely, at most 50% likely, and what kind of drop it is appears to be equally distributed between the different kinds. I didn't find the large ammo drops to be any less common than the small ammo drops. And I think the same thing with the health. There's the health and there's points, and then there's the 2 ammos.
2 different kinds of points too.
Oh, there's 2 different kinds of points. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Also
there's the diamond
lives,
and the gold brick.
Extra lives are like super.
Oh, that's right. There's also extra lives. I did not see very many extra lives, so maybe they don't have the same rate as the other stuff.
That has to be like 155 or 6 or whatever.
I saw Dragondarch had a run earlier against the boss where basically he didn't turn around before he started attacking, and I had that same problem. Are you able to turn around right after you attack, or attack right after you turn around? Is there like a delay there?
The problem is, like, there's a small animation when you shoot, turn around.
Right. Well, when you start moving, there's a delay, right?
Yeah, that too. There's a small acceleration. And also, each time you land, you stop for like a few frames. I don't know how many frames it is.
Right. It's a very small amount, but you hear that little plink, that Mega Man sound, and it's, you know, you
And he
slowing
has
down.
to like start over from standard, pretty much. Which is pretty annoying to get used to, especially if you're used to Mega Man. So what the TAS actually does is the TAS just keeps jumping, like it starts jumping and then never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought the cast was just screwing around, because if you watch it, there's lots of like really small jumps. It'll just land and keep going blah, 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 along the ledge, but it's actually for a reason.
Yep, and he jumps to the music too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like any good task should.
Of course.
Yep.
I don't know, some tasters are pretty minimalist, and they don't like any inputs that don't need to be there, you know, whereas other people just like to showboat. Kind of depends.
Some people even use all the extra empty space for inputs that can beat another game.
Right.
If you load that game up with the movie.
Yeah, it's always fun. I love the one with Mega Man 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
All played with the same input recording. So good.
I guess lag frames help a lot with.
Well, in that game, the fact
isolating
that you
your
can slide, and so you have the entire slide length to press whatever you want, it kind of helps.
That's not the arrow.
But yeah, there are different weapons in this game too. Different special weapons.
Oh yeah,
guess
just,
Arrow is so powerful you never.
Yes. Very
basically
powerful.
never-
yeah, I believe that other sub-weapons get picked up during the any % run at some point, right?
Yeah, you get 10 gas when you pick up a weapon, so use it for that in the beginning, and also the heavy gas, one of the other weapons, is used against one of the other bosses.
Is that for
really
Quackerjack?
Yeah.
That's right. We saw that strat get used. Wait, that's the one that goes along the ground?
Yep.
Yeah, we saw that strat get used just last time this game was on the show.
Actually, yeah, it was me versus Dragondarch, and I just looked and like, oh, that's what the record does. Okay, that's what I'll do.
Right.
Whereas Dragondarch had the idea of, you know, I got this super arrow and it does more damage. How about I try to figure out a way to do it with this?
Right.
Yeah,
And it was
you
my
need to hit him with,
downfall.
like,
Mhm.
You need to hit him with like 3 or 4 arrows, I think, before you actually start gaining time or being equal to heavy gas.
Right, and that uses up a lot of ammo too, so that's probably another consideration.
Oh yeah,
What?
and you need to be really, like, you need to cancel them to, like, for them to go down and hit him.
Right.
So you need to be really precise with that.
Yep, I was definitely not able to figure it out in the 15 minutes or whatever where I scrambled.
Oh yeah, Joker, does your mic get any louder, or can you...
No, I checked when I saw it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It's maxed out.
Maxed out! Okay, that's fine.
Both on boost and level default.
Oh, okay. No problem. So this... let me see. Yeah, this final boss, the second part of his pattern, it seems pretty straightforward, because he has that little thing that blocks your shots, but you can kill him before that... Wait, does that little thing that he holds up block your shots at all?
Blocks the buster pretty good.
Blocks the buster, but
Yeah.
not the super arrows, so as long as you use the arrows...
Arrow.
Occasionally it will block the arrow, but I don't know exactly what triggers it.
I think it still does damage though, even though it blocks the arrow.
Or maybe it's just that you're standing so close to him that the arrow doesn't do the usual thing.
Might be.
Because that's the thing, you can't be too close to the stuff you're shooting at in this. It's just one of the oddities of the game.
Yep, the super arrow needs needs space to form and start becoming an actual projectile.
Right.
Otherwise, I think it just becomes like a regular buster shot, basically.
Yeah, I think that if you're right next to the enemy and the little like poofy explosion thing that appears just before you shoot the arrow, like that'll be the only thing that appears, and it'll do just like one like buster shot damage instead of the 3 or something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Joga, do you ever forget that you can use the cape to block stuff?
Oh no.
Do you ever use it in an actual speedrun?
No, no.
No. So that's like, I would assume that...
You have to stand still to that.
Yeah, I know. That's right. So, but that's why it always surprises me when I see somebody block one of these, block the shot with their cape. I'm like, what is this person doing? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's that thing that we never use.
It's an incredibly useful game mechanic that just, nope, no time for it.
No time for it in a speedrun. Well, if you could do it in the air, that would be awesome. If you could just hold
yeah.
up in the air and block stuff, that'd be cool.
It's actually not that
You
useful
can
in
hold
casual play either,
You can
because
hold
it takes
the
so
cape
long.
midair, but I don't think it blocks stuff. when you're falling.
No. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It takes just a little too long to come up, I think, to be really useful.
Also, I think I might get this wrong, but if you start holding the cape in midair, you can't stop and you can't shoot while holding the cape. So, like if you accidentally press up while falling, you can't shoot until you've landed.
Oh, that's no good.
Pretty annoying. I might be wrong though.
No, that sounds like something that an NES game would have.
Man, RaneOfSOTN is having to reset over some pretty minor things to try to come up with a run that can beat Dragondarch here.
So was that 139? That was the first run that he got in, and that's so far been the only run submitted yet, and we're at the 13.5 minute mark, so... Or 13 and a half minutes
probably
left.
won't see a run from me. Period. I'm not like, my problem is to try to meet him, I have to do stuff I never got comfortable with. Like the platforming in this game, I've never been able to get the jumps right. They're just, I don't know what it is in my head. I haven't processed that Darkwing can land on platforms he's not even gonna even touch.
Yeah.
And it throws off my head every time. And it's just, I don't know, like having, even if I had more time to do it, it's like fundamentally getting at something in my head. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but...
Well, if anyone has ever played it, it absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
The hitbox on Darkwing Duck is much wider than it looks. So he'll catch platforms that you really don't think he should, and he'll hit enemies you really don't think he should, and yeah.
It's actually useful in like I think Mushroot stage, where the falling platforms are. You can actually skip some of the platforms by like inching your way out, so you're clearly standing in mid-air and shooting an arrow and jumping to skip some of the platforms.
That's cool.
Not RTA viable though, but it's pretty cool.
But it's like, the problem is that stupid last green guy on the screen. I just never, I'm always too close to him, so I always get hit. So I don't even get much past here. Because
You
of
could
that.
do a damage boost.
Yeah, you can also boost, well, I don't know, can you boost through the lower one?
No, what I usually
not-
do is like
it's not really-
I turn around in midair on the like cannon rhino guy before him, so I
Yeah.
get backward damage boost and jump over.
I'm pretty sure that's how I used to do it. I would turn around and hit the cannon guy from the back. Yeah, this game's got a pretty short invincibility period.
Yep. It's sort of like Mega Man 7, you really have to pay attention to where and how you take damage to make sure you get through certain enemies.
Yeah, so this game often gets compared to Mega Man games, and it is very Mega Man-like. I mean, I won't deny that. There are a couple things about it that are different. I mean, for one, the weird hitboxes thing. The other thing is the way the sub-weapons work. But another kind of subtle point is there's like a cooldown timer on when you hit enemies. Like Mega Man is very much... Like Mega Man games are very much about mashing speed. You want to, fire all your bullets as fast as possible. In this, that actually doesn't help you much. You want to just time your shots so they hit just as the invincibility period is wearing off, but there's really no point in the run that requires good mashing skills. So that is one good thing it has going for it if you're not a button masher.
I think it's actually based on Mega Man 5 engine, or the same code base or whatever you want to call it. And in Mega Man 5 there's actually also
The super arrow.
the super arrow, and you can't mash down enemies in 5 either. Every enemy has a small like invulnerability period.
Huh.
So mashing doesn't help you in 5 either.
I would not be surprised if some code got reused for those super arrows.
Although in this game you can't stand on the arrows while they're flying midair.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Also, this game has grabbing onto things. I don't think Mega Man games have any kind of gripping stuff with your hands.
No, well, he's only got one, so.
That's true, with your non-cannon hand.
Oh, whatever.
So
Rane
this...
has, got some runs going here.
Yeah.
Oh,
And of course, as we say that, of course. So that death there, that is that actually faster than just going over there and not dying?
At the checkpoint, you mean?
Yeah, at the checkpoint.
No, what you want to do is like, you want to get a big health drop if you can, like before the checkpoint, so you don't have to die. The only reason you die is to get back your health.
Right, and it happens to be a convenient spot because you respawn over on the left side anyway.
Exactly.
So a lot of the time gets saved, but still you're probably losing about a second, I would say, by doing the death
Yeah,
instead
something
of
like that.
going over.
It's definitely slow to die.
Right.
Option.
But the time that you can save by using that 4 health to damage boost through stuff is
Oh yeah.
is super worth it. Definitely worth doing it. And of
Even
course,
if you have a million gas, you can't make up the time.
right.
Killing stuff instead of damage.
Oh wow, we got a really good run from Dragondarch coming through here. That was an awesome last section.
Oh, you gave me the bad
Oh.
pattern.
Oh, it's too
no.
bad. Oh no. I saw you going for that health drop, or that health refill, and
Yeah,
Didn't get there.
those hooks don't have a hitbox that you would think is right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we haven't really talked about that.
That's true
But
for a
all
lot of things in this
yeah.
game. Especially things you grab onto.
yeah, the stuff you grab onto, it's like the exact position that you grab onto it matters. It's not. It doesn't like normalize your grip. So that's one thing you got to check out where you're gripping onto, because that affects where you're going to jump.
Yep, sometimes if you catch it in the wrong spot, you can't actually make a jump over to the next hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's important. And even just being able to grab onto it, it's not really clear from looking at Darkwing's sprite where you want to position yourself so that you will grab something. So you'll see a lot of hook misses.
It's very, very common to jump like slightly too short or something.
Yeah.
You're trying to optimize movement and just easy.
Oh yeah, Garvin, to answer your question, Darkwing Duck on the Game Boy, I have played it and it is pretty good, but it sort of follows the same level structure, but they redo the levels a little bit because they have to deal with a smaller screen size. So the levels are redrawn, but they're in the same spirit of the NES version's levels. Someday we'll have Game Boy games on the show, that'll be neat.
Yeah. I think the arrow doesn't do as much damage in the game.
It doesn't do as much damage in that one? Ah, okay.
No, I think you actually use other weapons. So that's cool.
How are we doing on time?
We got just over 5 minutes, 5:20 left on the clock. Dragondarch has not managed to beat his 139.9. Although he came close.
Ah. That last section, man.
Yeah, it's just so easy to take an extra hit somewhere in the last half of the stage. And then you're screwed. Almost screwed. Got the health drop. Try it.
Ooh, Dragondarch takes a hit, but manages to catch the chandelier, I guess it is. That is not always what happens when you get hit while you're up there.
Not the best fight, but I'll take it.
And it's a slight improvement.
Still not a PB, but
Our viewers have gone ahead and queued up some Darkwing Duck music for us.
awesome. This game's got a pretty good soundtrack to it.
Yeah, it's kind of jazzy. I like it.
Well, fits the theme of the show.
Yeah.
So we got some appropriate music for this game now. Listening to the Darkwing Duck level music. This game's got pretty snappy music. I kind of like it. It's peppy, fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I did enjoy the music while working on practice. Pretty good music to it.
Less than 2 minutes on the clock. Oh, sorry, we already got the official timing in for Dragondarch's updated run. It looks like he went down by less than a second. 139.23 from 0.98, I guess is what it was before.
That's correct.
You can actually kill the first guy riding on a horse by sticking an arrow to the wall where you fall down, then cancelling the arrow when the guy on the horse turns around.
Huh.
That will hit him. I think you still have to hit him once with a buster shot. You can still make it pretty smoothly without having to damage him.
Oh, that's neat.
I think we saw cards do that in each of his runs.
Yeah, there's a few neat things you can do with the super arrows. There's something kind of similar to that you can do to the wolf duck boss. I think it is.
Oh yeah, where you just stick an arrow through the wall and have him walk through it.
Yeah, he just walks into it and then you hit select when he's on top of it. It's a nice guaranteed
So
hit.
you don't even have to do that. Just take damage. Take
Oh.
damage anyways, so
Oh, I see. It automatically works. Huh.
always active.
That sort of balances out the unfortunate thing where you throw an arrow where you don't want it and then you can't get through, or you end up like gripping onto it instead of walking past it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Whatever. I'll put something in.
So, last chance to reset came just in time for you. This is your last chance now, and window of opportunity on that is closed. So Dragondarch is right at the end of this run. We'll see. He's right on par with his PB. Rane has got a fresh run. This is going to be the run to try to get his winning time. Let's see what happens.
He had a death at the boss, but he would have had a much closer time.
Nah, that's it. There you go.
And that's it.
Nothing.
Wow, Dragondarch's got that.
Point two.
Point 0.2 second improvement.
Oh yeah.
Not bad.
Wow.
What was the time from the first one? Actually, never mind. I can check that myself. That's the wrong scene. There it is. Alright. So yeah, 139.5 was the time to beat from the first one. And it looks like Dragondarch just barely got under Cards of the Heart's time at this.
That's why I didn't want to face Dragondarch in the first goal. That probably would have been the result that would have happened.
It probably would have been a more well-balanced set of matchups, but alas, the matchups are determined randomly, so I can't pair people based on how well I think they're going to do against each other.
You can only pair them up based on whether they live with each other or not.
Right. Well, that's bound to happen. Well, okay. So, congrats, Dragondarch, for taking match 3. Match 4 coming up next. We got Castlevania III: Dracula's Curse. That's going to be our second mystery game. Dragondarch and JL07 are going to take that game on in just a moment.
See if I remember what my route was.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the call.
Okay, cool. If you want to come back again for the last goal, the 5th goal is going to be more Darkwing Duck.
I might be sleeping by then.
Okay, cool. If not, let me know.
I'll do
But
tomorrow.
thank you for being in the call.
Yep, sure. Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Alright.
So that was Joka. He is a doesn't have the record, but he was competing for the record back and forth.
He has had the record on this game. Player of all kinds of Disney NES games. Okay, do I have the right set of people here? Yeah, I do.
To get used to these controls again, and the fact that I can't control my jump height anymore. Yeah.
Yep, that's always fun, going between games and have very different mechanics.
I want to know the interested in going back to Darkwing after this.
Okay, both players look like they got their script running. Can you both reset so I can be sure that your timers are starting at the right spot?
I'll clear my splits.
If you want. Okay, Dragondarch looks good. And Jay looks good too. Okay, good. Are both players ready to start this match?
Ready as I'm gonna be. Yep.
Okay then. Well, I'm going to count you guys
You're
down.
never truly ready to start.
Right,
the
as
mystery
ready
goal.
as you're going to get. Right.
Exactly.
All right, counting down.